Let's see if I can speak like an American. Howdy. Hey, all. Okay, I have to stop this. My Russian accent is not helping me here at all. My friends, I have a special video. Things I loved about Texas as a Brit. And guess what? I'm coming to America this year. I cannot wait, by the way. And I'm also going to Texas. So, very important video to me. But before I go into that, let me ask you for one thing. If you can leave a like. Thank you so much. Is the best way to show support. Now, if you can subscribe, well, in that case, forget about it. You make my day. Have that in consideration. Link for the original video in my description, and let's play.
So it's been a week since we got back from Texas. Got back
Okay.
Tuesday afternoon of last week. It was such a quick trip, honestly.
How long?
It went so fast. Like, we were there for just under a week. So
Okay.
6 nights, I believe it was. And we flew back on the 7th night. And
Okay, my friends, 1 week in Texas is not a lot, right? I was thinking about 7 to 10 days in Texas, so it's kind of like the same, right? But I know it's not a lot. By the way, this gentleman also does American reaction, so feel free to go to the original video, show some love, say that you guys came from André, because it's always good to show support to this type of creators.
there were certain things about it that I really, really loved. Like, that sort of stand out. I just thought I'd have a little chat with you about it. By
Like
the way,
what?
guys, sorry for the shaky cam. I'm at my family's house, so I don't have my tripod or any other like filming
Okay.
equipment. Literally, all I've got is my like backup mic, so that's why the camera's a bit shaky. I'm like holding it with my hand, so sorry
No
about that.
problem.
So the first thing I really loved about Texas was the weather, and
The
I know some of you are going
weather.
to be thinking, Kabir, like it was really, really hot. What do you mean? I just love how consistent it was. Like here in the UK,
You know what? That's crazy. I feel like no one talks about the weather in Texas. With all the respect, Texas is a beautiful place, but I think the weather is a bit extreme. Oh, but to be fair, maybe just in the summer. Apart from that, maybe the weather is great, but in the summer. So, okay, the original plan to me was to go to Texas in August, but a lot of you guys said, Andre, you are crazy. If you go to Texas in August with a kid, you are not totally there. I was, what the hell are you guys talking? My friends, it's true that Texas in August is crazy, crazy, crazy hot, right? But maybe apart from that, it's fine.
the weather's really up and down. Like it might be
So let's run this back. Now I'm going in October. I think in October the weather is good.
distant it was. Like here in the UK, the weather's really up and down. Like it might be warm on the Monday and then the next day it'll be like quite cold. I just love the
Okay.
consistent heat of Texas. Whether it was Houston, Dallas, or Austin, the sun was out, it was warm, you could walk around in a t-shirt and shorts. I really, really loved that because, here in England, you get maybe a month to 5 weeks of summer. You don't really get a lot of summer. And it just
Okay, interesting. My friends, actually, I have a lot of viewers from Texas. How hot is in Texas right now? I take a look at most of the comments, so feel free to do it, my friends. You can live in Fahrenheit. Don't worry, I will do the conversion.
feels like you kind of know what you expect being in Texas. You expect it to be warm for a lot of the year. The sun's out. You can walk around in your sunglasses, your shorts. I had like a frappuccino and iced coffee in my hand most of the time when I was out there. It was brilliant. I really,
It's
really liked
awesome.
that. And I can imagine, when it gets to like real summer, it might
Oh
get sort
boy.
of like too hot.
Oh boy.
And, there were moments where it kind of was getting close to that when it was like 35 degrees Celsius and high.
That's crazy hot, my friends. 30, and that was okay? So there is more than that in Texas? 35 degrees is already crazy, my friends here.
It's where it kind of was getting close to that when it was like 35 degrees
Oh,
Celsius and high humidity. But yeah, I still found it quite nice, to be honest with you. I know
okay.
there's probably Texans watching this thinking, Kabir, try and deal with that, for 6 months at a time. And maybe because I've not experienced that before, I don't really, maybe that's why I'm speaking so positively about it. But yeah, I enjoyed it. And kind of following on from the heat, Like, I loved how everywhere had air conditioning in Texas.
Yeah. Yeah. My friends, I have actually tremendous news. Tremendous news. I may make a video about this, and I'm not even joking. I'm gonna put air conditioning in my home. Yeah. Yeah, my friends. Hell yeah. Yeah.
You know,
And that's it.
like, let's say you get out of your car, you've parked maybe 5-minute walk from wherever you're going. Yeah, it's going to be really hot for that walk. You might start sweating a little bit, but as soon as you walk into that restaurant, it's like whoosh. You get hit with that gust of cold, crisp air conditioning.
Wait, but isn't that bad for your health? Maybe this is a myth that Europeans have, my friends, because I always grew up with this. If you are, if it's really hot outside and you go inside of a room with crazy air conditioner, you'll get sick. This is a myth, my friends. Any doctors that can confirm if this is a myth?
And it's everywhere. Every restaurant that we went to had air conditioning. Most of the bars had air conditioning. The hotels, every single sort of, like, even the university buildings when we went to MSU and Rice all had air
Every
conditioning, and it just
building,
makes
wow.
it so much more bearable. Especially when you're living in a place like Texas where the summers get really, really hot. Like here in the UK, air conditioning is only really found in office spaces. Most restaurants don't have AC.
See, this I see other Brits say this, but there is a lot of restaurants that have AC in my country, my friends. I live in Portugal. If you guys don't know, I know most of you guys know, but there is always new people. My home, look, the last summer was a bit difficult to me. So this year with the kid, I thought, yeah, okay, I have to put air condition. For example, to put air condition on this room, I pay more or less 600. No, actually, it's more. I have to do the conversion to dollar. Let's say $700 in this room. In other rooms will be a bit more. So I will spend a good amount of money, my friends, on this, but I think it's worth it. And you know what I'm waiting? This is for the ones that watch the cooking show. Very hot outside. I come into this room very hot. I'm gonna go, machine, do your job.
99% of pubs and bars don't have AC. So, it was such a nice relief, like being in a place where everywhere had AC. And I know there's some people that will be like, it's not very eco-friendly. And I get that. But if you're living somewhere where it's really, really hot, you need AC. The people were all
It's not eco-friendly. Why? I have no idea why, my friends. Wait, I know that I don't even know actually. Never mind. What?
also really friendly. Like, I really loved.
Wait, okay, maybe because spends a lot of energy, of course, but there is no pollution with AC, right?
You need AC. The people were also really friendly. Like, I really loved that because I'm
Wait, you end up shooting guns? Okay, we may have another video to watch.
somebody who, likes starting.
Sorry. I post too much. This is becoming a bit problematic here, my friends. But leave me the number, very specific number today. One, if I should watch him shooting some guns in Texas.
Friendly.
Hell yeah.
Like, I really loved that because I'm somebody who, likes starting, conversations with people that I don't know. Maybe
Nice
I'm in
guy.
the queue, at the grocery store, and I noticed that the person's wearing like an Arsenal top or something. I'll have a chat with you. So I'm the kind of person that likes having, quick random conversations with people. And Texas just had that in abundance. People would just hear my accent. They'd be like, "Are you from England?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." And then we just have this like, nice conversation. It happened everywhere we went.
Okay, my friends, this is something that I really would love to know your opinion here. So them asking, are you from England? Are you from the UK? Makes a lot of sense because you can see the accent is very obvious. From 0 to 10, what are the odds that people will ask me if I'm from Russia? From 0 to 10. How likely that will happen, my friends?
Bars, pubs, restaurants. It was really, really consistent throughout the different cities that we went to. And I just find that really charming. I think they call it Southern hospitality. I'm not sure if Texas is part of the South technically.
It is.
Americans, let me know if that's the case.
I can answer that for you, my friend. There is a debate. But let's be honest. We look at the map, is in the south. Part of the southern That's a different debate. But there is Southern hospitality there, 100%.
This or not, but yeah, I really, really loved how open and chatty and approachable Texans were. Is that consistent throughout the whole country, or is that something unique to Texas and the
No. It's unique to America. They are pretty great.
South? Now, this,
What about Canadians?
I suppose, depends
I
on your
love Canadians.
perspective, but I loved the portion sizes. You know, the portion sizes were generous. Like, you know, I would say the average portion size was at least 40 to 50% bigger in
Oh,
most of the restaurants than
keep going.
the restaurants that you'd find here in England. And you guys know me, I'm a massive foodie. I really, really like love my food. So it was just
He's a foodie. I'm a fat boy. Oh, man. Yeah, Texas will be a problem.
nice being properly full. Like sometimes you go to a restaurant here and I'm just not full, you know, and I don't want to order
Me
two
neither.
meals because they'll start looking at me funny. So it was nice, you know, being able to like know that, you know, if I order this one dish, I don't need to order like a bunch of extras or a bunch of sides, you know, it's going to fill me up, you know, and,
Yeah.
you know, I guess, you know, if you're someone who maybe struggles with your weight, I can see.
Oh boy, he's going to speak direct to me. My friends, pay attention. Oh, okay, this was going so damn good. Okay, say it. Don't be shy.
I guess, you know, if you're someone who maybe struggles with your weight,
I am.
I can see why it might be a negative
Oh
having
boy.
like big portions as the default. But yeah, I loved it. I loved it. The convenience really blew my mind. Like
Convenience?
we've got Uber Eats over here, and you know, you can get groceries and stuff delivered with Uber
Yeah.
Eats now, which
Same
is
here.
pretty cool. But it is
So this was not a thing until the COVID time, my friends. But after that, a lot of companies had to adapt, and now we have all of that. Previous to that, it was not a thing in my city, of course. In other cities, I cannot speak.
nothing compared to DoorDash and what you guys can get delivered to
DoorDash? What the hell is DoorDash? Is the best version of Uber Eats?
you. You know, I told the story in one of the vlogs that I made that, you know, I'd ordered a pair of trousers, black pants, and I hadn't
What?
tried them on before we left, and they were too small. So, you know, I was panicking, thinking I've only got one pair of trousers to wear for this whole trip. And, you know, I went on Reddit and, you know, I saw people saying, you know, DoorDash, you can get clothing delivered. I was like, no way can you get
No
clothing.
way.
So I downloaded DoorDash.
No way. No. Wait, you can get clothes?
And the stuff has arrived. Bang on time,
That's
24 minutes
crazy.
later, I have my black trousers. Perfect.
24? Oh,
And yeah,
you know what? My food from McDonald's takes longer than that.
I have my black trousers. Perfect. And yeah, you can literally buy clothes, furniture, all kinds of stuff and have it
Furniture?
delivered to you within 30 minutes. I
Yeah, right. You can buy a table. What?
could not believe it. Like, obviously, you know, you have to pay a delivery fee,
Of
you know,
course.
sales tax, tip them, and all that stuff. Which, you know, I suppose if you were to go and pick it up yourself, you wouldn't have to pay as many things. But, you know, I was in a bind. I had to meet my friends at their hotel in like an hour. So I didn't have the time, you know, to go to a Macy's or whatever. So it was just so cool, you know, just having that facility. And yeah, just that sort of convenience, you know, being able to get whatever you want, you know, have it delivered to
That's
you.
great.
Such a cool feature. Like, I can see
Damn.
them bringing it here probably in the next few years. To be honest, I don't know why we don't have
No, I feel like in the next 50 years that this will be a thing in Portugal.
it now, but yeah, it will be very popular when they bring it here. Another thing is, because Texas is so big, the roads are they're just straight, like very few corners, very few like sharp
Phew, I can. Ooh, this is a big road.
bends. Like when you're driving, you can almost kind of like just coast, really.
Yeah.
Like your foot's on
You kind of see the ocean. Not really, but you get the point. Oh, yeah.
the gas, holding steady, your hands are on the wheel, and you can have like nice
Wait, is that a lawyer? Lion law? Lion law?
sort of like kind of in-depth conversations with your friends and stuff. Whereas here, because the country's a lot smaller, there's a lot of sharp bends. There's not very long straights that go on for like miles and miles and miles, unless you're on like one of the main motorways, like the M1 or something like that. So just being able to like drive in a chilled out manner, I thought is really, really cool. Texas is absolutely huge. I couldn't believe
It's
how
huge.
big it is. Like, you know, people had already told me, Kabir, Texas is massive. Texas is massive. I was like, how big can it really, really be?
Yeah, honestly, I also think that. Maybe you guys are actually overreacting to this. Over exaggerating, not overreacting. How big can it be? I mean, I live in Portugal. It's a big country. Now, being serious, Texas is 18 times bigger than Portugal. That's embarrassing.
And my God, like we drove from Dallas to Austin, and that took 3 hours, right?
3 hours, I'm in Spain. Reality check moment to all Americans. My friends, see, this thing, the map, I don't know. There is some type of illusion in the map because I thought, okay, I go to Austin, I'm chilling there in the morning. Afternoon, I'm in the Grand Canyon. At night, I'm again in Austin. Then I end up putting the thing that you do on the maps to see how many hours. Don't do it. It's a lot of time. It's crazy. I thought the Grand Canyon was around the corner.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to like superimpose a little screen grab of how small that distance.
Just to give you an idea, it will be the equivalent of me going from Portugal, then entire Spain, then entire France, then Germany, and I mean Russia. No, that makes no sense, right? That's exactly what I felt.
Impose a little screen grab of how small that distance is relative to the entirety of Texas. It's mind blowing. Whereas if you were to drive 3 hours from the bottom of the country, you'd be near the middle. You'd be in Nottingham. Like someone told me that you can fit Texas into you could fit the UK into Texas 3 times, which
3 times. Imagine it.
is crazy because the UK is made up of 4 countries. So you can fit
good
four
point.
countries into one of the 50 states of America. That is just like mind
Well,
blowing.
friends, I feel like Texas is as big as France. I could be saying something wrong, but I remember seeing videos about that.
And the final thing I'm going to touch on, but arguably the most important thing
What?
that I loved about Texas is the entrepreneurial spirit of the people. Like, there's an attitude in Texas that I felt so strongly. There's like a kind of go and get it sort of mentality that I loved. Everybody's trying to, better themselves. Everybody's chasing the American dream. Everybody's trying to make it. Like, you can see it when you're driving down the highways. You can just see businesses everywhere. People are hustling. People are moving. I
So
loved
cool.
it. I love that spirit. And that's really what made America into what it is today. That's really, that America, this titan, this economic juggernaut is built on small SMEs, small and medium sized businesses. So it's just great. It was great being there and seeing that spirit, seeing the people,
This guy, spot on the entire video, my friends.
like embody that American go get it attitude that I loved. I wish we had it more here. Here, if you start a business, there's just so many rules and regs. And don't get me wrong, like rules and regulations are needed, to a degree, but it's a lot harder here, I feel, to start and build a business than it would be in a place like Texas. I feel like Texas probably encourages.
My friends, look, you guys know I love my country and I love Europe in general, but The thing that I would say Americans are much, much better, but it's not even close. Look, the amount of regulation Europeans have, and I guess this I can speak to all countries to be fair, because they all follow the European Union law, or at least countries that are inside of the European Union. My friends, the that's a difficult word. Bureaucracy, not bad. That you have to face all the rules. It's crazy, crazy, crazy difficult. That's why I really believe, and it goes into his point, to be fair, that America has so much innovation. You know, think about all the companies, specific technology, technological. Oh, is that a word? All the companies related with technology. That sounds much better. But no, for serious, man. Think about that, my friends. Google, Microsoft, Facebook, everything is from America. There is a reason for that, It's not that Americans are more smart. I think Americans have more space to try. And I love that about America.
Entrepreneurialism, maybe a bit more than we do here. And, that American dream, that American desire, to make it, to build a better life for yourself and your family.
I love that.
I loved it. I really, really loved it. Yeah, man. I loved
Can
Texas,
I get a like for
genuinely.
America?
I'm going to be back in America this year.
Yes, I get
95% sure it's going to be in September or October.
My friend, I will be there also.
Because, I came with friends. I didn't really have the chance to vlog as much as I would have wanted. Because, because I've vlogged quite a lot. I didn't want to vlog the whole time, setting up tripods at the dinner table and stuff like that. So when I come in September, October, I'm going to come by myself or with a cameraman. And, I'm going to explore. Hopefully, I'm going to do a meet and greet as well, so I can meet a bunch of you guys, which would be amazing. And I'll have a lot more time to do things.
That's awesome.
To film stuff, and it will just be awesome, especially because football season would have started as well. Like I want to go to at least one NFL and one
football season. It starts around that. So there is no football right now on TV?
College football game. I want to experience tailgating and all the camaraderie. Yeah. I think it'll be awesome.
Awesome.
And like if you guys want to do something, shoot me an email. That's kabirconsiders@yahoo.com. And Texas was awesome. I will be back.
Okay, thank you so much, my friend. Look, my friends, this video was great. I mean, I never went to America, but I agree with everything this gentleman said. Again, leave a like if you had fun. There is a link below for the original video. You can also find my Instagram, Facebook, all the good stuff. I never promote that, but if you want to follow me there, thank you so much. And that's everything for today. See you guys in the next one. Bye, my friends.